It's the Feared Ghost show on the main channel on only on TVU with Brandi Taylor. Okay.
Can you feel I've been feeling a little pent up because we've had like this crazy weather and I've been in the house too much. So so I'm sharing some energy with you today, and actually I feel really super grounded as of last night. It's interesting what happens when our energy is all over the map and how much we can be influenced by others' energy, but that's not really what we're going to talk about today. I just wanted to share that with you because I think it's uber important to always remember, no matter what, that we are in this form, in this state, experiencing things, regardless of what level of awareness we get to, regardless of what level of consciousness we move into, regardless of how high we reach. We will always be human in this moment. So we will always have these influences that come in, and sometimes they dominate, and sometimes we go, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What am I doing here? Right? So I want to talk about our truth. And this all kind of ties into this discussion around human and not. And what I mean by that all started with a conversation that James and I were having last night. And he sent me a beautiful statement that really triggered something big for me. Because, of course, I'm in the midst of my human, right? We get caught up in our human, and our human is like a lot of thinking, so much thinking. And our truth is our being. So, James sends me this. He sent me a few things, and it says, I am the divine becoming one. And I went, whoa, I am the divine, and I already am one. I'm not becoming. Although that statement triggered a whole bunch of really interesting thoughts around becoming, because we're reaching in the human state to become what we are, because we forget what we are in this state. So I wrote this: there is no becoming. We are one. We already are these divine beings. But in our human, we experience something very different. It's the protective mind, it's the monkey and squirrel, the fear, the doubt, the self-sabotage, the shame, the guilt, all these emotions that we experience through our human state that really create a different richness to our experience here. See, all those emotions, the fear, the doubt, the judgment, the frustrations, the anger, which is almost always based in fear, which pushes out through judgment, which pushes out through another emotion, but it's almost always based in fear, sadness, hopelessness, shame, guilt. All of these things play into our humanness, the emotions, and whether or not we're capable of letting them go, letting them kind of just run through us like they should in a moment, because they only take but a moment to move through us. It's the thoughts that surround these emotions that create a completely different dynamic. And that's our humanness. And sometimes these emotions are amazing, and sometimes they feel terrible. So then I'm thinking about, but what is our truth? Our truth is a deep down feeling devoid of perception. It's just a knowing. It's this internal knowing that you can't deny once you know it. Like you absolutely feel it in your bones. You feel it in your cells. I knew the first time I ever had a moment of higher consciousness that it was a truth. I could not deny it. You can't fully explain it sometimes, but it's an absolute truth of your being and who you are. Not all the thoughts that go along with this physical state. Because the thoughts that go along with this physical state often are basically telling us lies. You're not good enough. the conditioning, right? This is the thoughts that go along with this physical state until you supersede them, until you surpass them, until you reach the next level of awareness. And I was thinking about like truth. What is our truth? Our bodies know the truth, absolutely know the truth, whether our minds agree or not. And when we're in our truth, there is absolutely no resistance to life. It's funny how when you come back into your truth, okay, and this is why I said this statement was so important last night, because I'm sitting there thinking about all these things coming up and what I'm doing and pushing really, really hard at something, because I'm trying. See, and even the choice of words I'm using, I'm trying to move something forward. I'm pushing. There's no flow in that. There's no, it could be joyful, but not really, because I'm pushing. I'm using a lot of energy that I'm directing in a way that may not necessarily be the way that is the easiest and the most joyful and the most fun and the most truly connected to who I am. Right. So, James, you and I are talking about like social media, for instance. And I like social media sometimes. I like to I like to post on Instagram when I'm in a thought and I'm like, I really want to share this, or same thing with Facebook, or but I don't want to spend, hours a day on there, and I don't want to spend every day on there. For me, that's not my joyful, happy, easy place. So if I'm doing a launch, or I'm moving something forward, and I'm going through all these channels on social media, that's not my joyful place. So for me, that's hard. That's a push, right? I'm directing my energy in a way that wouldn't be natural to me, not in my truth. So what is my truth? I realized this as I'm going through all this stuff last night. And I'm thinking my truth is here right now in these moments when I'm speaking to you. And I have that opportunity to really be authentic. Not that I'm not authentic on my socials, I am, but that's not my truth, the socials. I want these moments with you. I love the relationships with you here right now in these moments. I love the lives. I love when I speak on stages, because those moments I can see you, I connect with you, I know you, I see your soul, I know who you are, instead of some persona on a social. So for me, that's not my truth. That's not my authenticity. And that's why it's been an interesting place in my own head. So thinking about the divine, we are all capable, all having, all being the divine. All. That is your truth. So when I said our bodies know it, whether our minds agree, our minds have been trained to believe whatever the heck we believe. And beliefs can change literally at the drop of a hat. Today I believe this, tomorrow I believe that. Like it happens all the time, right? But when we're in our truth and our authentic self, there's no resistance there. So last night I'm thinking about all this push and push and push, and then it dawns on me. I'm like, why do I believe that it has to be this way? Because someone's told me I have to go through socials, because someone's told me that this is the way it works. Well, that's the way it's worked for them. Very true, and it works for many. But what if my way isn't? What if my way is just here in these rooms, in these chats, on these stages? What if that's my way? What if 15 million other ways come to me? Because that's my truth, and that's my authentic ease and joy and happy place. We get so stuck in it has to be this way, or, you know, I see these options, but I'm seeing these options. And my son and I were talking about that actually the other night, and the butts, oh my goodness gracious, the butts were coming out. So many butts. And the buts are hilarious. But this, but that, but this, but that. And they're all excuses. They're all ways that we actually just put up more and more and more parameters or fencing around what we have available to us. The but. Oh. So I go from like this huge spectrum of possibilities, this infinite array of possibilities, into honing it down into, but I need to use social media and I need to this, but. And now I'm in this tiny little frame of possibilities. And that's what I'm seeing. And that's what I'm using. So it's very different when we look at what our truth is. So I said, your body knows it. There's a really cool little way to test things. And this has everything to do with your energy, your vibration, your frequencies, all that we truly are when we move outside of our concept of the physical being. But this is awesome. And I need to put the mic down to do this. So put this here and hopefully we'll have some good sound. Okay, can you hear me? Perfect. This is good. I'll just come forward. So when you're doing a test, a physical test, you're going to do a muscle test because your muscles don't lie. Your brain might, but your muscles don't. So this is a very cool way to test things. And you can test yourself. There's lots and lots of ways that this can be done. Traditionally, you have your arm out, someone pushes down on it, and it's a muscle test, and your muscles will say whether or not this is okay for you, whether or not this is true for you. Your muscles can't lie. It's an energetic truth. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, yes, I've learned this through probably about, I don't know, many different teachers I've had in the past, including hypnotherapy when I was actually studying that, which was kind of interesting that muscle testing was one of the things we did, which is energetic. However, this one was really cool. I was like, okay, so you can do it on yourself. One of the ways I learned to test food, test vitamins, there's great ways to test. You can actually put whatever it is up against your body and stand still. If you don't move, your body's fine with it. If you move forward, your body might need more. If you move back, you have too much. So I do this, I've done this with vitamins, I've done this with different foods. Muscle tests are great for foods too. So take something like an apple or a squash or a piece of broccoli and muscle test. Your muscles will say it's good for you. Take something like McDonald's burger or something that is processed highly, and it doesn't even have to come out of its package. Take margarine. Actually, margarine's really interesting because it's so not good for your body. But take anything like that and your muscle will weaken. It cannot hold strength for what your body wants. But this was one I was doing last night. So I really like this and I'm giving you a tool here. I highly recommend you use this, and you can use it for almost anything. Take your fingers, loop them, right? So I'm going to hold it like this. You're going to test yourself. First of all, it works really, really well. All of muscle testing works well as long as you're sitting at a vibrational level of about 200. And we'll include the vibrational chart. Okay. The emotional vibrational chart. We'll include that in the show notes in this. But as long as you're at a 200, this will all read accurate. Okay. So there's quick ways to kind of raise your energy up too and your vibrational levels up. But we'll talk about that on another episode. This one, so you're going to take your fingers, you're going to loop them together. You're going to make a statement that's true to test first. Okay. So my name is Brandi Taylor. This, no matter how hard I pull, will not break, right? I'm holding on to this. I'm holding these together. Okay. My name is Brandi Taylor. It's a statement. I'm not asking a question. I'm making a statement. Next statement. My name is Brandi Johannesburg. I can't hold that no matter how hard I try. And I've literally tried this many times. I can't hold it because it's not true. So when you start to test other things, obviously foods and things like that are really great and great way to know what's okay with your body and what's not. But when you start to test other things, you can start to test questions you're having about yourself within yourself. Don't ask the question, frame it as a statement. Always frame as a statement, not a question. And this will serve you like, oh my God, it is so eye opening. So when you're struggling with something, the way we frame things often, I think I could take this back now. The way we frame things often is sometimes setting us up for failure right out of the gate. So if I ask questions like, oh, this is so hard, I'm already setting myself up for an answer that's hard. I'm not setting myself up for anything that's going to come that's going to help me. I'm literally creating a scenario that's going to answer the question I don't want answered. I want to ask myself much, much better questions. Like, what will it be like when? Why are things, whatever it is I'm struggling with, right? Why is my business picking up so easily? Why is it so easy to find new clients? Why is it like, start framing your questions differently instead of focusing your questions so much on the things that you really don't want answers to. Again, we're focused on the wrong thing. And I think often I see this all the time in many different fields and many different industries, that the focus is wrong. And when I say wrong, it's getting us to a conclusion that isn't the answer we're looking for. Like, if I want to know how to cure cancer, I want to know how to cure cancer. I don't want to know how to treat cancer. I want to know how to cure cancer. So my questions better be surrounding cure, not treatment. That's a fix. That's a temporary. And then you're back in the same boat again, dealing with the same stuff. And cancer is obviously, hopefully you're not dealing with the same stuff. And you're like, I think that there are other ways for us to find solutions. And it starts with the questions we ask, the thesis, right? What are you asking? But again, I think that this is kind of what sums up our truth. Your body won't lie to you. Pay attention to your body, your emotions. Oh my God, your emotions flow through your body and sit in places, and you'll discover that when you actually pay attention and when you're holding them.
So it's good. It's good. Know your truth.
Know your truth. I have to say this because I think this is like the kind of the wrap up. So the purpose of our existence is to experience truth, not perfection, not all the craziness, although the craziness that comes with the human condition can be released to the point where we see the beauty in it. In our true form, we are perfect in all ways. There is no flaws, but there would be nothing interesting to experience always being perfect. If everything is always perfect, you don't recognize the perfection. That's a whole point of duality, which is that's our human existence, is duality. It's in our human that we experience the richness of flaws, the beauty in emotions and those scales, and that we discover ourselves again and again in the calm and stillness that is our truth. We have that opportunity to really enhance and grow and really dig into the richness of what we have in humanity, what we experience through the human condition. But then you also have that incredible opportunity to also really remember what you are, who you are, what your truth is, and then look at all of the human condition. You'll see it differently. You won't look at the atrocities from the same lens. You won't look at people's mistakes from the same lens. You won't maybe even see them as mistakes anymore. You see them as part of their growth journey. You see them as part of their journey and them elevating to their next levels. It's such a beautiful opportunity when we experience both and we can see through the lens of what we are, our authentic true self. And how we get there is really created by awareness, and it's created by training. Like I James, you and I have had this conversation enough times about how I really do believe that this should be taught from early ages. We should know what we are. And when I say that, you don't know what you are until you experience it. And once you do, you can't deny it. You can never go back on it. You can't pretend this isn't who you are. Well, you can fight it all you want, but then you're just in resistance and you make it hard. And I did that for a long time. I've had moments of awakened moments, and then moments where I was like, I can't talk about that. People are going to think I'm crazy, but it's not. It's who you are. And the more people that awaken to what we really are, the more power there is. And that power, oh my God. So last night I said, I read this, and then I started writing, and it just hit me so hard that, again, the way I was pushing, all the resistance left. Why does it have to be that way? Because I'm creating it that way. I'm creating everything through my choices. I choose to look through the lens of my human conditions, or I choose to look through the lens of truth. And when I look through the lens of truth, every option is open to me. And yes, there are things that life is going to bring to you that are out of your control, but you're okay with that. Instead of pushing and forcing and trying to do something that is out of your control. Life flows, energy flows, things are moving. And there will be things that will enter your space that may not be pleasant or not be easy. But when you see it through truth, it becomes easy. You just recognize it for what it is. You're like, oh, okay. Yep. Okay. So we're going to have this, little bump or this little experience or this moment. What am I going to take from it? And there's an excitement in that too. Again, when I look at it from my truth and who I really am and what I have to offer the world, there's a lot of excitement in that. There's a lot of ease. There's a lot of joy, and it flows. It's all of the resistance that we're creating that makes it so hard. Training. It's just training.
Know your truth.
Know your truth. Come at life in your authentic truth, the authentic you.
Know
The
your
authentic
way.
you is beautiful.
Know your way.
Know your way. And if you don't, get a coach or get someone who can train you. And I am happy to do that.
You're
Actually, I am your person to do that.
exactly. Your body won't lie. Experience the truth.
Nope. Experience the truth.
You're here to experience truth.
You are here to experience truth. That is the purpose of this existence, is to experience your truth, and to be able to share that in the world. That's why you're here. And it's an amazing, amazing experience when you come from that space to be able to give that to others. And trust me, they want it because they want theirs to be able to shine too. Deep down, they want theirs to come out too. Your truth always wants to come to the surface, always.
Here it goes on TVU with Brandi Taylor.